welcome to VO Journey Academy Live. My name is Anthony,
I'm Gabby.
and we are voice actors. I don't even know. Sometimes we don't write this stuff. We'd probably be way better if I did.
Do you
But
ever get the farmers jingle stuck in your we are voice actors
yeah,
bump bum 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 bump like I want to do that.
we could probably do just enough before we get in trouble.
Yeah.
So hello everyone. It's good to see you here. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button as always. Hit the bell notification if you've not done so, so you get notified that we're
Mhm.
live because we go live, and then we're in here for we do about 20 minutes, and then
We,
that's our jam. So
yeah,
you
we try
gotta
to do
get
it every
here.
day, Monday
Gotta
through
get here.
Friday.
Also, as always, please make sure. Hey, Kat, I was just about to say it. Leave a comment, say hello, tell us where you're
Hmm.
from, and ask questions. Really, we'd love to answer them, as well as maybe even make it a topic for an entire
Hmm.
session.
Hmm.
We've had some really good
Hmm.
ones.
We have.
So, Gabby, what are we talking about today?
I want to talk about how we tend to get in our own way.
Oh
I
yes.
have, as I know you have, right? I have met so many actors that I go, gosh, they're so skilled, right?
Oh
So
yeah.
much talent, so much raw ability. And it's like if they would just get the hell out of their
Yeah.
own way, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
They could be
Absolutely.
so successful.
Oh yeah.
And it's always in the back of my head with my students. And okay, so what do we mean by getting in your own way? I guess that's where we should start. Something I see a lot is, and this is tough, right? Because again, we're an ego driven sort of business. Um, the people who already kind of think they know everything.
Right. Right.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. That's a good one.
And
Yeah.
as a result, they fail to listen, they fail to ingest new information. There's
Yes.
sort of a resistance there.
Oh yeah.
There, there are the people who don't they don't work on the fortitude that is necessary to self-govern, right? To run a business. It is not easy. It is
No.
not, and it doesn't
It's
happen because you
hard.
sit around and wait for it to come to you, right?
No. Oh, that's so true.
Oy.
That's so true.
There's
Oh yeah.
still so many people that are like, I'm gonna be discovered and somebody's gonna find me. I'm like a shiny penny on the ground and they're gonna pick me up and put me in their pocket. No, no,
Oh yeah.
it just doesn't happen that way anymore. And so it
No, I agree.
doesn't matter how skilled you are if you're not living by the mantra of hustle and
Oh yeah.
organize, structure.
Oh yeah.
Very difficult, very, very difficult. And this
Oh,
doesn't just go for
absolutely.
voiceover, it goes for anything, right?
No, totally. I always love the saying about how do you get luck, right? How do you get luck? And the saying is
Mhm.
luck is laboring under correct knowledge.
I like that.
So, right, the idea is,
Mhm.
how do you get lucky? Well, I mean, I'm lucky all the time. Someone says you usually the people that we think are lucky, the reality is they're doing the things
Right.
they have to do, and we think that's luck, but the reality is they're doing the things they have to do in order to get the opportunities and to take them.
Right.
And I always think that's a fun way to look at it. I also want to say this goes for everybody, no matter what it is. As I was actually talking about in football practice yesterday, but I think it applies to all of us, especially right, especially with a coach.
Mm.
Is you've got to be coachable or teachable, right? I've had so many wonderful, talented voice acting students who really want to be successful in the business, but constructive criticism is difficult for them to take. And I don't necessarily mean that they can't take it, or so they can listen, but they don't make a change from it, right?
Mhm.
There's
Mhm.
no so like they're getting in their own way and not just letting go and doing what maybe you're paying someone to advise you to do. Like, that happens a lot. Wouldn't you say so, Gavin?
I read an amazing article not that long ago. Ironically, it had to do with equestrian training. So
Oh
I guess,
yeah. Okay.
working
Yep.
with
Yep.
horses. And it made me think of you
Hmm.
on multiple fronts because the article started out with a story like of a proverb basically of there was once a Zen master and another practitioner of the Zen arts came to him and said, I want you to teach me, I want to learn from you. And the problem was this person came to the table with so many preconceived notions that they were unteachable. And
Mm.
so one day the Zen master said, let's have some tea. And so he proceeded to pour tea into a cup and he poured it way past the top and it kept overflowing. And there's the student going, wait, stop, stop, stop. It's overflowing. And he goes, yeah, that's you right now. He goes, you came to me with so many ideas of your own and the belief that you know what's right, that you're not able to fill up with any
Mm.
more information. And he said,
Mm.
so do me a favor, come back to me when your cup is empty.
Mm.
And I went,
Wow.
oh, that's profound.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
deep.
It is. It
That's
is.
deep.
But that is a big thing. Like when you're
Mm.
working with somebody, make sure that you come in, yeah, with an empty cup. You want to be able to
Absolutely.
fill yourself up with knowledge. And hey, and the parallel here with the horses was even if it's basics, even if it's something you already know, come in with a fresh, open mind
Yes.
because you might actually learn a deeper understanding of that thing.
Oh,
Or,
absolutely.
yeah, there's always something to gain from the basics.
Oh, totally.
Um,
Well, I was gonna say, so getting out of your own way. So let's move to talking about now, like maybe some um practical experiences or practical, actual things that we could say, hey, this is what we mean, and this is how
mm,
you can move forward.
mm,
So first, I think one thing I notice is that especially when you're beginning, we need and we need this as human beings. I think we need feedback.
mhm,
We feel the need to be judged.
mm.
We feel that need.
Oh, do we
Yeah,
feel
I think we do. Maybe
wow.
judge is a, I think we do because I think, for example, what is the number one complaint from all voice actors? Now, we might use a different word
Right,
like
I don't get feedback.
feedback.
Right, right.
But the reality is we want
Mm,
to be, I mean, and so
mm,
maybe I'll just use that word. We want feedback. I won't use the word judged.
right.
We want that feedback. So, what happens is by not getting that, especially early on,
Mm,
I see a lot of voice actors stopping dead in their tracks, right? They
yeah,
stop. They wait.
yeah.
They're waiting. They get a nice little initial push,
Mm,
and then they start putting things out into the ethos. And I think that, which I always put up, planting the seeds, right? They don't grow as fast as we would like, and
right.
then we don't get feedback, if you're unless you're working with a coach, right? But you're putting it out there and you're auditioning, you're doing stuff. That's just the name of the game,
Oh, yeah.
and you stop and you wait and you think, okay, well, I shouldn't move forward, or I shouldn't continue to do more until I find out why I'm not getting work.
Yeah,
And then we
yeah,
just stop.
right.
And so I have found that that is getting in your own way, because we are thinking that we're supposed to almost like checkpoints, and I think that that causes a lot of us to just put a hold and end up spending way longer
Mm,
to grow our business because
mm,
we're waiting for that feedback. We're waiting to, get some of that, I don't know, some of that light shining on why we're not getting work
right.
in the beginning. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I will say yes, I agree with that. I also like Professor Tracy, who I'm gonna go ahead and assume is in fact an educator, um,
Hmm.
wrote, "Others may not know different ways to learn," and that is also an excellent
Mm.
point because as a student, you as an adult learner, you should be aware of your best ways of retaining and absorbing information. And, be it visual, be it auditory, be it tactical, repetitive, right? Whatever works for you, you also have to be able to communicate that with the people you're working with and find ways of modifying information to fit that learning
Mm.
style. Um, hugely important.
Oh, yes,
And
yes, 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 yes.
yeah, and I mean, but the other thing is, and I think that this is like an overarching big part of the whole getting out of your own way thing is excuses.
Mm,
Oh,
mm,
we all have
mm.
them, right? We all
Everybody's
have,
got them.
everybody's got
Everybody's,
right? Here's why I
we all
didn't do
got them.
this. Here's
Yeah.
why this didn't happen.
Oh
This is
yeah,
why that.
and you know what? They're valid. I mean, that's the thing. Like they're all. I mean, most of them, right? Most of our excuses are valid, especially as we
Mhm,
get older. I'm just gonna, I was in the hospital. There is, some serious stuff goes on in our lives.
for sure.
There is no doubt.
Hmm.
Um, but the reality is though is that and it's just from my own my thing
Mm,
is that you know those excuses are real and they are valid, but nothing happens unless
mm,
we move forward. There's not I wish there was
mm.
something magical that
Yeah.
happened. And it is every, like, I remember. So here's something interesting. I know, Gabby, I know, we all have kind of our origin story.
Oh yeah.
So when I just mine, right, I was a theater teacher, and I went to taught high school. And then theater's funny because when you're teaching theater, you don't get home like other normal
Mm-mm,
teachers, right? Because
mm-mm,
you have practice, you have rehearsal, you have you're building your sets, then you have nights and weekends that you're putting
mm,
on shows. You're not there. Anyways, so I get home. Normally I'd get home around 5 or 6, except on show stuff, but 5 or 6. Then we have the kids and dinner, and I wouldn't personally start doing voiceover until about 10 or 11 at night. I
mm.
would put up my booth,
That's
and I
rough.
would take
Ooh,
my booth down every night, put it up every night, take it down at about 3 in the morning, go to bed, get up at 6, do it again.
holy
I did
crap.
that for 2 years, and then I was 2.5 years, and I was able
Ooh,
to then retire or go full time in this. And the only reason I bring that up is that I'm not something special, but it's just, and I often ask myself, could I do that again now? But sometimes I think we got one time in our life where we, like, we're all in no matter what, right? We
Mhm,
burnt the ships and we're all in. Point I make though is that there's some people like, hey, I've got to do this. I got to get my sleep here. I've got to do that there. And again, that's all valid.
mhm,
But in the end, that's the excuse will stop you from getting over that hump. I told myself after a while that I'm going to be successful because I know no one else is doing what I'm doing, or at that time. At least that's
yeah,
how I kept myself going.
yeah,
It's like like I felt like I'm doing something that, not a lot of other people are doing. So I'm going to be, you got to pump yourself
yeah.
up.
You do. You do for sure. Um, yeah, and I mean, you're right. I think back too, and I think back to some of the sacrifices I made or the things that I did, and I go, "Geez, could I do that now? Could I
I
still?"
know. I know.
I don't know. But
I
but
know.
then but then I look at other things that now, right? Because okay, so not that I'm, not still actively working on my voiceover career,
Right.
but because I have a measure of success there, I'm able to turn my attention to certain other things.
Right.
And I go,
Exactly.
well, I make time for that, don't I? I make time to study that, learn that, do that. So yeah,
Mhm.
what we if we really want something, that's just it. We sacrifice. We make those adjustments and changes. And it doesn't happen because we wish for it. It doesn't happen because we, try to, I don't know, manifest it by, I don't know, other ways. It's
Mm.
work. It's
Mhm.
hard work
Mhm.
and dedication. There's the old phrase, it took me 20 years to become an overnight success.
Oh yeah. Oh, I
Right?
absolutely, I love that. And I remember, and I'm not telling people to do this, but I remember falling asleep. Maybe we've all done it, falling asleep in your booth narrating something, because you knew
I
you
can
had
honestly say I've
you
never done that.
oh, okay. Well, you don't do a lot of audiobooks. I know you do a lot of audiobooks, but like audiobooks, you got a deadline, and you've got like 6 audiobooks in the queue, and you're trying to get this stuff done. And you are really like, and it hurts. Like staying up late hurts. It's painful.
Hmm.
Like it really. I'm not telling people to go through pain. I'm pointing out that I look back and I think to myself, if I didn't do that.
Mm,
I mean, maybe I wouldn't be, here today, because that
mm,
sacrifice at that
mm,
time
mm,
also built something else in me,
mhm,
right? It built a relentless. It showed me what I needed to do to be successful. So now I know when you know crap hits the fan, or when something happens, I know what I have to sacrifice in order to take that next jump, right? That next level.
mhm.
And you see it, it's everybody. No one's immune to it. I
Nope.
mean, it doesn't matter the richest people in the world or whoever, no one's immune to it,
Mm,
you
mm-mm.
know? Cool thing I love about our business. And so anyway, I was gonna get off topic, but I would say that, so getting out of your own way, okay, that's one aspect of, you mentioned excuses.
Mhm.
Um what's another what's oh I think one thing too is letting frustrations stop you from continuing to try,
Mm, mm,
like your audio, right? I think, and you mentioned Professor Tracy up there said, finding other may not know different ways to learn,
mm.
right? I find that audio, and I understand why, stops a lot of people in their tracks,
Yeah.
and they get very frustrated. They can't figure it out. So I'm not saying they quit, but they stop or something. I'll do a bunch of other stuff until I can magically figure this out. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, that's where I'm a big believer in the 10,000 hour rule. Now, I know in today's society that sounds crazy. Putting 10,000 hours into anything seems like a
It does.
monumentally
Yeah.
absurd task to people. But when I was learning how to digitally edit, oh my God,
Mm.
I stayed up all hours of the day and night. I immersed myself in, I would make up things to do, to record, to play, to be able to just work with it. And it took a long time. It was not, for me, it was not an organic skill to learn. It
Mm-hmm.
was not an easy thing to learn. It took a lot of time. And
Mm-hmm.
I say the only way for me was to just play. It was to
Mm-hmm.
do it. It was like a child with an instrument making every horrific noise and note you've ever heard,
Oh yeah.
right?
Oh yeah.
Just to become hands-on with it.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely, definitely. Another thing I would say is, as a business owner, it's actually our job as the owner, because we are an interesting scenario, right? We are the owner, we're
Mm,
the CEO, we're also the talent, we're also the workers, and we're also the managers, right? We're the entrepreneur, we're the manager, and we're the talent.
we are
So,
all the things.
right, so all of those hats need to be worn. Typically, most of us only wear the entrepreneur hats once or twice. There was that first
Mhm,
moment when you had the idea, well, what if
mhm,
I could
mhm,
do voiceover?
mhm.
What could I do? Right? Then it becomes this struggle after that of the worker and trying to manage your organization. But
So
one
true.
thing you do as a CEO, right, is challenges arise in your business. And your job as the CEO is to figure out ways to resolve those challenges,
Mhm, mhm.
right? And that's your job. So one way might be getting coaching. One way might be using YouTube videos to learn something. One way might be going to a conference. One way
Mhm,
might be joining an academy.
mhm,
One way there's a variety of ways that you can figure out how to solve the challenges that arise in your business. But the point here is, it is your job to solve that challenge. And
yes.
sometimes I've seen people wait years to really realize they're the ones who have to solve that challenge, right? They've
I
got, does
uh,
that make sense? Yeah.
it does. Absolutely. For me, this was a tough one to admit, and it was a tough one to reconcile. Um, I was too emotional. I
Mm.
was too emotional about business decisions, about outcomes, about even about, taxes, to think things that
Oh,
for other
taxes.
people are very black and white and cut and dry. And for me, they became emotional, and that it would stunt my growth or it would slow me down. And I had to really get to that place of going, stop it, stop it. The computer is not out to get you.
Mm.
Your interface is not malfunctioning because there's, a demon that's crawled inside of it and wants to make your life hell. It is simply what it is. Put your big girl panties on and deal with it.
Mm.
Yeah. Took me a long time. Took me a
So did
long time.
that like stop you some like what did that kind of just like a deer in the headlights? Like what
Yeah, like
happened?
it was crippling. Like I
Mm.
would get so emotionally overloaded that yes, it would cripple my ability to make logical decisions and to be able to look at the situation in an orderly pattern towards a solution,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So, I have a friend who's long passed, but he was fond of saying this. He would go, "You're going around your elbow to get to your a-hole." It was,
Oh
because
my goodness.
because he was like, "Gabby, direct line, right? Like,
Oh my
find the
goodness.
direct route. Stop
Oh.
this."
Oh my goodness, decisions too, right?
Yeah.
Making decisions, especially when you don't know if the decision you make is the right or wrong one.
Mhm, mhm.
I'm gonna tell you, I feel like I make that all the time, and I'm like, I feel 90% of the time it's the wrong one. What am I doing? Is there any like, will any of this work? Look, you're laughing because Gabby knows. I like talk to her. I'm like, Gabby, I have no idea what I'm doing.
But in a way, what you are doing though is real life A/B testing,
Right. That's
right? You're going, I'm going to try this, and if this doesn't work, then I'm going to try this. And you're comparing results.
mm,
That's
yeah.
all we can, all hope to do.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I guess we've been going on and on. And there's people over in the chat.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of really
Yeah,
great comments.
yeah.
I'm giggling because Melissa said she fell asleep on the floor of her hobo fort
Oh my
once because
goodness.
it was warm.
That's a really I'm turned get
It
save
was
some money on
warm
my
and
electrical
cozy.
bill and be in my booth. That's wow.
Uh,
Alex said, okay, so
oh, yeah.
at what point
Oh,
does one
Alex.
have to stop worrying about taxes with VO non by Alex
Ooh,
never. I always worry
yeah,
about
yeah,
taxes.
yeah, you're always
Oh,
I
taxes are the
think
bane of my existence.
I
I am
think
telling you now.
you know
Taxes.
what? You know what? Taxes are a great topic. I'm gonna add it to the list.
Oh my gosh, we
We
could
might
fill up
we might
a
do a whole
month on
week.
tax. I could
Yeah,
fill up
we
a
might
month
do
on
a whole
taxes.
tax week next week.
I think
Um,
so.
but I will say, Alex, when do you have to start worrying about it? It's a
Oh,
really
when?
simple answer. It's when you're making a profit.
Yes,
The
yes.
minute you make a profit,
Oh
first you
yeah.
go, "Hooray, I made a profit," and then you go, "Oh shit, the
I know. In
taxes." Yeah.
2022 or 2023, the
Mm.
new law they passed was if you make $400
Mhm.
or more, you have to report on taxes. It
Yes.
used to be, I think, like 4,000.
Yes.
It used to be 4,000, but now it's 400. So,
Mhm. Mhm.
so that's pretty much whatever, yeah,
Yeah.
as soon as you make something, you're gonna have to
As soon
report it.
as you make money, that's it.
And the crazy thing is, we as yeah, we'll get into this. We'll
Oh,
get
for
into double
sure.
taxation. We'll get
It's
into all this
such a
stuff.
great topic.
This is my life, is the tax. Like it's just totally
Same.
different, right? Because when you're an employee hired by someone else, they and their payroll, everything takes care of that for you. You don't see it. I've always said, if the tax man was at the end of the office and on Friday, every citizen in our country got paid and went to leave the building and the taxman made them physically hand them money, there'd be a
Mm,
revolution.
it's true.
Because you don't because as an employee, I mean, I think it's one of the biggest you don't see it. Oh, sorry.
It
I get
Nope,
emotional about
I
taxes.
know exactly what
You know what I'm saying?
you just triggered in you. There's so many people. It is an the problem is education, right?
Mm,
The more educated we
mm,
are about taxation and
mm,
where and how and why we are taxed, the more
mm.
bitter we become.
Oh,
And if you look at this country historically, right, old tax laws were very easy to understand and they were very cut and dry, hence revolutions over taxes. Now our tax structure has become so complex that that's literally what the government relies on. Let's make it so complex that the average person can't possibly follow this crap. And that's
it's
how we
ludicrous.
avoid an uprising.
It is ludicrous.
Hmm.
It is ludicrous, and what
Yes.
you know, it's unreal, and it's
Yeah.
crazy because you really do
Hmm.
need professionals who do this
Mm.
full time.
Hmm.
I did my taxes the first close
So did
couple of
I.
years,
So did
and
I.
then after my income started going up, and I
Mhm,
realized I
mhm,
have no idea what
mhm.
and then even like, what are you like? You're running a business. There is, the more you do this too, the more you realize your whole life
Yeah,
as sole
everything,
proprietor, or we're LLCs, but we're
everything.
usually single member unless you move to an S corp, which we'll talk about. But
Mm.
okay, we got it. We got to go. We're getting really into it. We will have a whole bunch a week on
We will,
this.
we will. Next week,
We have
we're
a
gonna
week
go
on
ahead
this.
and say it now. It's tax week. That's
Yes,
what we're
yes, I
doing.
think
We're
that's
doing
good.
it.
And remember, tomorrow, Friday, we have our open forum Friday. So make sure you come by with all of your questions. There might even be tax questions, and we'll talk about that. Whatever you've got, bring them tomorrow. We're very excited. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful Thursday. See you all tomorrow. Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.